Hi everyone and welcome to this new video about Matomo Tag Manager. In this specific video we're going to talk about variables. So variable, as their name stands for it, is just some values which are changing over time dynamically. And in Matomo Tag Manager you can use those given variables in order to push on the information thanks to the tags. So let's now see a little bit more in practice how it can be useful. Okay, so here we are in Matomo Tag Manager. As you can see, I have no tags and I have no trigger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just create the basic tags, and this basic tag is just going to introduce you the concept of variable. So just going to create a new tag. This tag is going to be an event analytics for Matomo, event analytics. It's going to send the data to my site, which is site item number 6, so I'm not changing this information, and I would like it to be an event, and what I would like to track is the interaction which are made in elements when I'm clicking on them. Okay, so here I have my website, and what I wish to have is to collect the data of every click that I'm going to do. So every time I'm going to click on this element or this element, or I don't know, this element, for example, I would like to grab the text which is written over here. And as you can imagine, I can technically create one event for each, but I can make the process even faster thanks to variable, because with just one trigger I could collect dynamically, thanks to variable, the value of each of those elements, and this is what I'm going to do right now. So I want to define a trigger, so this is what I have done here, which is fired every time that I'm clicking on an element. So I'm going to just select this given trigger, and I'm going to leave as it is, like this. And then I'm going to define for the events that the category is going to be, let's say, click. Okay, I'm going to say like click. And event action is going to be click as well. And here, instead of hard coding, here I'm going to just precise click elements. Here, as the event name, I would like to pick up a value, and the value is the text of the element that I clicked on. So I'm going to click here on this icon, and as you can see, this icon is automatically telling me to choose a variable. And here I just want to collect, as I said, the text element. So that's why I'm going to click on this one and click text. If you have a doubt about the variable that you should pick up, you just hover your mouse over the question tag here, and it's going to tell you what it is. So in my case, this is the click text. And now if I create this new tag and that I'm publishing it, so in my case I'm going to preview it instead, oops, like this, you're going to notice that every time that I'm going to click on an element, whatever it is, so here nothing's happening yet, but if I click here, you will see that all element clicks. If I click over here, I will see the tag which is displayed. If I click on this one, I will see that another one has been fired. And if I click over here, for example, or even over here, I will see that other events have been triggered. And if I look now within my visit logs dashboard, I will see that those events have been pushed accordingly. And as you can see, I get every time the name of the element with just one single tag and trigger associated. Okay, so that's the magic of variable, is that it's picking up dynamically the value that you wanted, thanks to the elements which are included within the page. Okay, that's great, but probably if you are a little bit curious, if you click here on variable, you will see that the list which were displayed to us some seconds ago is coming from this long list that you can see up here, but maybe you're gonna have some extra needs, and those extra needs are what we call the custom variable. So these are the one that you create here. So when you click over here, you can create your own variable, and you can of course use custom JavaScript, which means any combination. In our case, we're going to use another one, which is the DOM element. And the typical use case I would like to introduce you is the following one. Imagine that you are on this given page and you would like, for example, to grab the following value, right? The publishing date of this given article, in order to push that to Matomo to better analyze if, for example, a fresh content is receiving more visits than any other. So in our case, for example, here in Matomo, we will use a custom dimension. So this is what I did over here in my Matomo installation. I went over here and I created a custom variable which is named custom dimension, which is named publishing date, right? What you can see up here. And thanks to this publishing date, I got an ID that you can see here, which is the dimension value, and this is what I'm going to use in order to send the data to my report, which carry the same name, which is the name publishing date. That's the one that you can see. So my client, this is the one that you can see. Up here under behavior, you get this new report which has been created, which now is empty. So I'm gonna now push the data within this report thanks to the custom variable. So here it is. I create a new variable, and this variable that I want to grab, if I hover my mouse over here, if I inspect the element, you see that's the information that I would like to extract. So it has a class, but in my case I'm going to use something which is a bit more specific. I'm going to use what we call the CSS selector. So CSS selector is a way to grab any element of the page thanks to the position that he has within the page. So in my case, I'm going to pick up here the CSS selector. I'm going to just paste what I just did. So it's dot paste date one. And here I'm going to be a bit more precise and say that this is the publishing date. Okay. And I'm going to just create now this variable, and in order for it to be pushed to Matomo, what I will do is I will create a tag. So that's the tag that I'm going to create is the following one. Yep, it's over here. And here I'm going to change actually the configuration of my Matomo tag. So I'm going to go to variable because it has been already created. So here I have my variable which is saying, okay, send the data to ID site number 6, to which I'm going to append something which is the custom dimension. So in our case, we saw that the custom dimension that we created as the index number 2, and the value that I would like to assign to this given custom dimension is the one of the publishing date. And now if I update this given variable, and if I go back on the tags that I wanted to create, so it's going to be my Matomo tag. I'm going to give it a name which is like, okay, tracking page views for Matomo and publishing date. So my variable is within this variable. I can keep the page view tracking. It's not a problem. And then I assign my trigger, which is every time that a page is viewed, I would like the custom dimension to be pushed as well. And this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to create this new tag, and I can actually keep my preview and debug mode. That's not a problem here. And I'm going to go over here. I'm going to refresh my page. Here, as you can see, my tag has been fired. This is what we can check over here, page views for Matomo and publishing date. And if I look carefully at the different variable that I pushed, you will see that the value which has been taken is the value that I was expecting. And now I will have to wait in my Matomo to see the data coming. So it may not appear in real time because Matomo need to process the data. So that's why it's saying, okay, there's no data yet. But here, what happened is that the page has been fired, and as you can see within the black pop-up over here, there is a custom dimension which has been pushed to the report name publishing date with the value posted on April the 5th, 2019, which correspond to this given page. So now I have one of my reports which is going to start to be populated with this given data, and this is the report that we can see down here. So I will have to wait. Let's say it really depends of your server configuration, but here it's going to take something like 5 minutes in order to have the data pushed over here. But you just saw that with a custom variable that you define within Matomo Tag Manager, you can easily grab any data which are contained on your web page. And that's it for variables. So I really hope that you understood the concept of variable. The best exercise that you can do is really to try to create your own variable, to as well try to use the pre-configured variables of Matomo Analytics in order to send them thanks to a trigger and tags. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.